my name is Mary Beth Sato, and I'm the Contemporary Issues Chair for the Student Activities Council. And we partnered with the Political Science Department to put on this public policy forum.
Thank you, Mary Beth. I just want to thank Mary Beth for her leadership in organizing tonight's event. It was her creation. Jo Ellen, I'll give you a couple minutes to catch up a little bit.
Thank you. I'd like to start by saying that I graduated from Lebanon Valley College as an adult learner with an associate's degree. And soon after that, I learned that I had cataracts at a relatively young age. And in so doing, I had to have my eyes operated on, but it wasn't immediate. I had a little time. So I looked at some of the colleges that the state used to allow some online study and chose Kennedy Western University from that list. So I studied business management and got an associate's degree in the arts, I believe it was, from LVC, and then through Kennedy Western received my bachelor's degree in leadership and management. One of the things that I did before taking those courses was to take a class on John Maxwell's leadership. And maybe you've already heard of him, maybe you haven't, but it's a very easy to read book. It's called The 21 Laws of Leadership. And if you read that, your eyes will be open to what it takes to succeed in life. And that got me started on wanting to study leadership more in depth. Along the way, I was also the president at one time of the League of Women Voters in Lebanon County. And through the leadership there, learned that we arrive at conclusions through consensus. That means we study the issue, we get the facts, we all have an opportunity to express our points of view, and then together we come to a consensus because one person just doesn't get their way all the time. The final thing I'd like to say is that I saw this somewhere. These are not mine, it's not an original, but something that I captured and thought was very important. And if I ever got the opportunity to share it with some young people, and tonight's that opportunity, I would like to do that. The 10 C's of leadership. Number 1, be curious. Read the newspaper. Ask questions. You're doing that tonight. Number 2, communicate realities and the truth. To that end, in my commissioner meetings, I started videotaping because that service was denied by a former Board of Commissioners, and I felt it was important that people have 24/7 access to the issues facing county government. So I think I've posted over 800 YouTube videos, and its history in the community, but also the meetings from the county commissioners. One that stands out in my mind that probably has some of them, a couple thousand views, is when I was attacked by a gentleman who was chastising me for appearing in a play called Footloose at our local community theater. And I had just a few small speaking parts and got to dance with all the young people. And I had a wonderful time because I never got to do that before, and it's something I really wanted to experience. And they're fundamentalists, I suppose, would be a proper term. And very nice people. They attend our meetings. He has a doctorate degree. She has a master's degree, so they're bright. In fact, she's a paralegal. And I was threatened with lawsuits and everything else for appearing in this show because they said I was promoting, of all things, underage drinking. But what they failed to realize was that at 18, in many states, it is legal to drink. And in Pennsylvania, of course, it's 21. So a high school senior technically could drink, but they were at a bar, and maybe you've seen the play and maybe you haven't. That's the gist of it. But they came out and actually protested me at the play and were carrying the placards and everything. And then he came to my commissioners meeting and just railed me and insisted that I answer him. I did answer him, and I encourage you to look up that on YouTube because I've been told by some of the professors at Lebanon Valley College they actually use that as a teaching aid, and I had no idea on how to handle an irate citizen who comes before you. The next C I'd like to talk about is character, and I'm going to go through the rest real quickly. I won't tell any more stories. Know right from wrong and do the right thing. The fourth C is courage. Take tough stands and sometimes unpopular stands if in your heart you feel it's the right thing. Be convicted with passion and have the fire in the belly to follow that conviction. Be creative and able to make change. Try and have some charisma. That's what people will follow. To inspire them and to gain trust. Trust is a really big issue. When you lose the trust, it's really hard to regain. Be competent, surround yourself with good people. Use common sense to solve problems and be a problem solver. And finally, handle crisis. Theory's easy. It's much harder when you have to get in the ring and really stand up and fight and calm people down in a time of crisis. Thank you.